Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tune. Today we are working on something kind of cool. It is an old CJ Jeep, and yeah, you will never guess what it's got under the hood. So we're going to be working on this thing. It actually got dropped off this past weekend, and I have been just tinkering with it here and there, trying to get the thing to run and be able to at least move around, because the guy dropped it off because it doesn't really run right and needs some tuning. So that's where Hunter Tune comes into play, and I'm really excited to bring you guys along with and have some fun with this Jeep. Hopefully get it running right and get the right parts in it too. So without further ado, let's get the hood popped on this thing and see what we're working with. There we go. Now I got the hood popped on it, and you guys can see it ain't no Jeep motor. This is a Chevy 5.3 LS based engine. It looks like an old truck motor, cast block, aluminum head, and it has a big old Whipple supercharger on it. So it is definitely needing some tweaks and some tuning. It looks like whenever they did put this thing together, they did maybe use some old school technology to get it running right, because it does have the blower attached to the drive system here and a coupler that runs into the stock throttle body location. So let me crawl up here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. There we go. Now that I'm standing on the tire, we can get an aerial view of everything that's going on. Okay, so as you guys can see, the blower is attached to the engine via throttle body, or via the coupler here with the outlet going into the factory throttle body location, and it does have an old school setup where it's got two extra injectors that will inject fuel, you know, whenever you command it to inject the fuel. But as you can see, there is actually no fuel lines even running to this little block thing. So we will not be using that. It's just going to kind of be there to plug the holes up and to be able to feed the boost into the regular intake manifold. This is just a regular truck manifold, and it has what I'm assuming is decapped injectors. I'm not sure. The guy did not buy them from me. He bought this as a project, and I'm just here to get it running right for him. And then it's got the big old throttle body out there with the MAF attached to the blower side. Cable goes out to there. And then a couple things I did notice right off the bat that need to be addressed is the spark plugs that are in this thing are TR5s. And we need to get some at least TR6s in this thing, if not 7s, depending on how much boost it's all pulleyed for, which he has no idea, I have no idea. Kind of going into this blind to figure out what's all needed. So spark plugs is on the list, and also a map sensor, because this map sensor is the factory truck map sensor, which is a 1-bar sensor, which means it will not read any boost. So whenever we put boost into the intake manifold, that map sensor is going to freak out. It's not going to know what to do. It needs to be able to read and register boost pressure. So I actually already got a sensor today. My local buddy Derek, he actually races with us up at WIR Kaukauna in Wisconsin here, drag racing. He actually sourced a bunch of these at like a couple boneyards around the area. These are like the stock GTP sensors. They are a 2-bar sensor, and like I said, he gets lucky sometimes and he can find them in the junkyards. I haven't been able to find them in the yards, but these are always good to keep on hand. They're a great sensor, and they plug right into the factory truck manifold, and they read up to 14 pounds boost. Another thing on the list is we have to get a wideband air fuel gauge installed into the exhaust system, so we are able to tune the air fuel properly and actually monitor what's going on. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to get this map sensor installed into the intake, which is pretty simple. It's just one little clip here. Could probably do it on camera. So it's this guy right here, and then you just pull this out of the manifold and then install your new one. So I actually might beforehand show you kind of before and after of what's going on with this thing. So I'm going to try to fire this thing up and kind of show you how poorly it does run currently. It sounds really good, but it definitely is like lean or something's going on, and we have no gauges to really know what's going on. So that's why I said wideband's going to be one of the things next on the list. But if we try to fire it, just kind of dies. It doesn't stay running. Now if I hold my foot on the gas, I can get it to stay running. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna get the 2-bar in, then we're gonna plug the laptop in with the HP tuners, and we are going to try and get this thing to run better. Alright guys, so this is actually after the fact of this video is already done and over with. I did end up having some issues with my camera where I lost a really good chunk of footage getting this thing up and running. That one clip that I did got messed up, and all the other clips seem to be working okay. But I was in this thing and I got it running. I showed some great, basic stuff of switching it over to speed density, and yeah. We got it swapped over to the 2-bar sensor, and then when you implement a 2-bar OS into the stock computer on the GM stuff, it will automatically put your VE table at all the same value. So you have to copy and paste your values from your 1-bar and then build up above 105 kPa, or you need to have a map that's already kind of tuned and use it as a base map kind of thing, and that's what I did with this. And then we just did some idle stuff to get it to idle a little bit better. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't get a lot of that filmed. But here is some footage of the truck on the dyno. And it laid down some really good power, guys. I'm really happy with how this thing turned out for virtually 3 pounds of boost. It's all it's running. It's all it's pulleyed for. Yeah, it held up good. I'm playing with some fuel stuff right now, just out on a backcountry road. I haven't put it on the dyno yet. I just want to make sure the thing drives okay. That locker though, look at this, guys. I got a lot of the fuel stuff cleaned up just on the street here. Holy shit, this thing is gonna fly. Oh my god, I barely even got into the throttle. Alright guys, so we got the Jeep on the dyno. I just did my first run with the thing strapped down. Everything seems to be doing really good with the big ass tires on the dyno. We're doing second gear runs with this thing, just so we don't get too much wheel speed with this setup. I don't want to really do 150 mile an hour or something with it. And the first hit, guys, it's rich. It's making like 4 pounds of boost, barely anything at all. 404 foot-pounds of torque, 278 wheel horsepower, and you guys could probably see it's pretty rich. It pretty much smoked out the shop with fuel. So this thing's just gonna make some jam, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna start dialing it back. My camera is almost out of memory right now, so I'm probably gonna try to keep these clips short, but this thing's jamming, guys. I am working through the VE table and the power enrichment stuff, and once I get all that ironed out, it should make a little bit more power. So, and I didn't really even rev the car that high. Yeah, so we're gonna keep going from here. All right, something while I'm on the dyno, guys, I wanted to show you. Let me crawl up in this thing. So on the dyno, I was doing some rips, and that pull, we were on 13 degrees of timing, ain't nothing, and 125 kPa, which is like 3 fucking pounds, 4 pounds. So we're gonna maybe put some timing in this thing. All I'm doing right now is pulling fuel out of it, and I'm turning the fans on sooner because this thing has fans wired through the computer, and they were set to come on at 220 degrees, which is way too high of a setting. So I'm setting them up so they come on at 190 for the first fan and 200 for the second fan, because on that dyno run the car did get up to 210 degrees, which isn't like bad, it's not catastrophic, but I like to run them a little cooler. So 190 degrees for the first one, and it shuts off at 180 degrees. So that's the settings I like to use. And I just go into the system here and then fans, and then you can set them on and off right here. Let's rip it. Alright guys, the fueling was a lot better on that run. It should have made more power. Oh yeah, it made more power everywhere. 419 foot-pounds, 325 horsepower. So we picked up literally 275 to 325. We picked up 50 horsepower, trimming 10% of fuel out of it. So it's still only on about 14 degrees of timing, and that is really soft, honestly. So we could probably put more timing in it. But I mean, this curve looks fucking awesome. We revved it like 60 something, 6,400 that time, and it's right about at the peak here, about 6,000. Peaks a little bit before 6,000, like 5,800 or something like that. Yep, right on the money I was just by looking at the graph. So yeah, we're going to maybe just sprinkle in a little bit of timing, and I got to get this thing to idle consistently. I can't seem to get it to idle consistently. I can get it to, you know, breathe on the key, it fires right up, but when you're in drive, it likes to hang. It likes to idle. The idle hangs when you're driving. So it's like it's got cruise control almost on all the time from the idle airflow. Alright guys, I'm going to pray that my footage actually turned out, because I was in the middle of filming some stuff with the Jeep here, and my camera freaked out and said that the memory card was like corrupting, and it had to repair the files, which is never a good thing. So if this doesn't work, I'm probably gonna have to get a new memory card or something for my camera, which sucks. Always got camera issues when you do this YouTube thing. But that's probably gonna be it for the Jeep, guys. Awesome results, awesome little setup, and we're gonna maybe talk to the owner, see if maybe we should put a bigger exhaust on this thing, because it is kind of a small exhaust. Like I want to say it's like a 2 1/4 or something off of each. It's true dual, but it's kind of small. Piping up by the headers, so that might help get some more power out of this thing, and changing the pulleys to make some more boost, and maybe switching it to a better fuel other than pump gas. But he might be just selling this thing. If anybody's interested, maybe hit me up. So yeah, did a great job on this thing, guys. When it came in, couldn't even get on the throttle, it would just die, just nothing. Swapped that map sensor on there, we put a Hunter tune in this thing and dialed it in. Got it running, and the next couple days I'm probably going to play with just small things, idling, and stuff like that to really iron it out perfectly before the guy comes and picks it up. So thanks for watching, guys. Me and these big old 40-inch tires are going to get out of here for the night, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We got another truck coming tonight getting dropped off that we're going to do some really cool stuff with. So stay tuned, and have a great night and a better tomorrow, guys.